right, give it 1 second till we go live. All right, I think the broadcast is about to start right now, so I'm going to go ahead and share this. What's going on, Kevin? I hope everything is going good on your end.
Yes, sir.
All right. How you doing over there? Where are you located at the moment? So we go live.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think the broadcast is about to start right now, so I'm going to go ahead and share this. What's going on, Kevin? I hope everything is going good on your end.
Yes, sir.
All right. How you doing over there? Where are you located at the moment? So we go live. I think the broadcast is about to start right now. All right, we're good to go. All right, so what's going on, everyone? Good to have you, Kev. How's everything doing?
Hey, everything's great. Fantastic. Good to be here, man. How you doing today?
Yeah, super excited to have you on here, man, as we have some exciting stuff going on and everyone's about to learn a bunch of stuff from someone that has done amazing stuff. So I just want to do a little quick intro. I'm sure I'm not going to do it justice with the amount of stuff that Kevin has actually done, guys. It is literally amazing. Like when I found out everything that Kevin has actually done in his career, like most people in probably just a year or two haven't done anything near this in their whole entire lifetime. So basically, Kevin has literally had 20 companies that have generated over $100 million. Okay. So he was actually featured and he was the first shark of Shark Tank in the vital first 4 years. He's the creator of the infomercial. He's done so much business in so many different places and is literally jet setting all around the world. I honestly don't even know how he does it, but I'm sure I missed a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm sure you guys know who he is already. But with that being said, Kev, tell us a little bit more about who you are, what you're up to these days, just so people can find a little bit more for those of you
Hey,
that haven't heard of.
Okay. Hey, thank you. You know, Jonathan, I'll start kind of going a little bit back to the old days. I was born in a family of 6 kids. My father, in the very beginning, he was a bartender, saving up money and wanted more for his family. And I was the 4th of 6, and I joked that by the time I got a shower every morning, it was a cold shower because we only had 2 bathrooms in the whole house for 8 people. But he opened up his own Irish pub, Harrington's Irish Pub, and I started working in restaurants and bars when I was 11 years old, helping to build the family business. Right, I was, whether it was bar backing or serving drinks or food or cooking or whatever. I mean, it's crazy to think an 11-year-old is in behind the bar serving alcohol, but I mean, I hate to admit it, but I was. Okay, but this was my father was my mentor, said, you got to own your own business. And as I got a chance to do that in high school, I started a driveway sealing business. In college, I needed something year round. I started, because I had to pay for my college education, I started a heating and air conditioning company. Then I sold that company and saw I had some capital and I saw the vision of the future. And this is when I decided I was watching TV and I saw my channels were dark after a certain hour at night. And I called the cable company up and cut a deal to start putting products onto the TV channels that had nothing airing. And so that was the beginning back in the early 80s. This was kind of the creation of the infomercial industry. And so worked with Tony Little, Jack LaLanne, George Foreman, Kathy Hilton, Paris Hilton, Kris Jenner, Kim Kardashian, you name it, been around the horn with some pretty amazing folks, had some great projects, sold billions of dollars worth of product. And now this kind of brings us to today. You mentioned Shark Tank. Yes, I got a call from Mark Burnett to be a shark on Shark Tank. But this is the thing. Shark Tank gets thousands every year. I think the numbers like 50,000 applications to go on the show. They can only take 250. So what do the other 49 plus thousand people do? They basically go home with their great idea and forget about it. They're not going to get on the show, right? So this is why when you presented to me the whole concept of Pitch Investors Live, I said, this is a golden opportunity for me to be able to take what I learned through all the years of Shark Tank and looking at products and put it on the internet so that people, going to Shark Tank, you had to get a hold of the producers, you had to meet with them, you had to shoot videos, you had to do all this crazy stuff, and then they turn you down. Well, look, it's a great format. It's a great show. I don't mean that it's a negative thing. It's a tough thing to get on that show, right? So the bottom line is Pitch Investors Live. You come on, you get a chance. I'm one of the investors you get to pitch to. We've got tremendous amount of investors for 18 months. We've been plugging and plugging and plugging with ideas and pitches and investors and more people. And now, Jonathan, as you well know, we have assembled the dream team across all spectrums, investors with literally up to billions of dollars to invest. Okay. And so when you said, how do we take this to the next level? And we all sat down and we said, wow, if we did a mastermind, this could go to the moon, where we bring everybody into one place for a weekend and you got the investors, you got the people pitching, you got all the people connected to all of this. And obviously I'm going to be there, but there was another little link that we said, if we can bring somebody like a Grant Cardone into this, how amazing would that be, right? I mean, so what an amazing concept. This Grant is one of the top marketers in the history of the internet world. And we've got Grant, we got myself, we've got you, Jonathan, your team, all of our investors. I'm so excited about this. When we put this together in October, it's gonna be unbelievable. It's really gonna be powerful.
No, it's super amazing. I mean, it's funny to talk about that. It took us a while. First of all, it took us a lot of negotiations and everything that we had to do to basically get you on board and everything like that. And there was like a few other people that were really hard to get, and one of them that we were so grateful to get, excited about. You guys have done business. I don't know if you've done business, but you guys have basically done interviews together and you guys have done things together, and it was Grant Cardone. So when we were able to secure Grant Cardone to come to this, it took it to a whole nother level, but it doesn't even talk about some of the other ones. So Grant Cardone is very front facing and so many people know him. He's becoming a superstar for sure. But we have a great, crazy, I think it took us probably about a year to probably secure him after chasing and talking to everyone within his organization, this assistant, that assistant, his right-hand man, his main sales guy, till we're able to do it. One of the things that really, that Grant really loved about it is that he would be able to connect with you, Kev, and some of these other amazing people, because there is going to be a multitude of billions of dollars of ideas, acquisitions that have already happened, sales, you know what I mean, and like everything else. So some of the speakers that basically we're going to be having there that we're able to secure are basically Laurel Langmeyer. They call her the Millionaire Maker. She was in the movie The Secret. She's had so many businesses and is known as a huge authority and thought leader when it comes to finance, including some best-selling books. Reese Jones is another person. He's a thought leader in the tech space, okay? So in the tech space, genomics, he's one of the associate founders to Singularity University. He's literally been on the board of billions of dollars worth of actual acquisitions and as advisor. So he's done some amazing stuff, and he just has a wealth of knowledge. He's also a polymath, right? So we have him. We have a lady named Gayatri Sadekar, where she's now basically signing into like one of the biggest, I can't talk about it because this is something new, but she signed into one of the biggest funds in the world and everything like that. Yeah, a guy named James Carey, that basically he used to be one of the main honchos over at one of the biggest hedge funds down here in Miami, $30 billion funds. So like the people that we're getting together are nothing short but amazing. And we're super excited about it. So actually what I wanted to do on this call is talk a little bit about, just in general, I want to talk about some of the stuff that you've done, some of the experience that you bring to the table, and the excitement. So me, myself, I know that masterminds have literally changed my life. I've attended so many of them and I continue to do so. And you are a huge proponent of masterminds yourself. Including you. One of the most exciting things that I found out is that you're actually going to be in the movie Think and Grow Rich, the new one.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about this? And like, you're obviously a person that is definitely to be included of a new age, like wonderful, crazy, awesome businessman. So tell us a little bit more how this even happened. Like, how did you get into the movie? Now you're going to be traveling with them. Like, tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah. So Think and Grow Rich is an amazing book. Napoleon Hill, it was a game changer in my life when I started reading his books. And the first book that I read of his was Think and Grow Rich, and it gave me a whole different mentality for excitement about my business ideas, doing things that I was prior to this thinking I couldn't do it. And I mean, look, I'm going all the way back to when I was 15 years old. So this is 48 years ago. Okay. 48 years ago, I was a young kid sitting there with no confidence, not understanding, really how I'm going to go out and make it happen. And when I read Think and Grow Rich and the principles of a mastermind and believing your mind, whatever you believe and you conceive, you can achieve, right? So this is how I tuned in to Napoleon Hill. And so when they started down the path of creating the Napoleon Hill movie, I had talked to the producers and they says, "Oh my God, you used his principles and techniques." And he's got a very large number of techniques that he recommends that you follow. So bottom line is I've shot it. I'm in the movie. They're doing a tour. I started on the tour. It's pretty amazing what's going on. Napoleon Hill was one of the most premier minds and authors in the history. I think Think and Grow Rich is right up there, real close to like the Bible in terms of the number of copies sold, right? So, one of the advantages with people coming to masterminds is when they when somebody like me is there, somebody like Grant Cardone, Reese Jones, etc. People that are attending are getting access to our Rolodexes. Okay, so I mean, my Rolodex, I've launched hundreds of products. I've invested, you know, literally hundreds of millions of dollars into projects. I've also raised hundreds of millions of dollars. So I'm helping people. I'm investing in deals. I'm helping people raise money. I'm a product guy, but I'm a service guy. I'm a mentor. I sit on boards of public companies. So I'm an advisor to more than 24 companies right now. And so this is what my DNA is all about, is helping entrepreneurs. I was one of the founders of the Entrepreneurs Organization, EO. And by the way, I have a huge event I'm doing in Miami coming up. I don't know if you know about this, Jonathan. Might be something for you guys to tune into. I'm keynoting at the Hard Rock event. Hard Rock. Uh,
Casino?
it's either their venue. It's either the casino or the hotel, or they have a venue also, like when they
They
play.
just built a stadium there too. They built
I
a
think
stadium
it's.
and they have a few venues inside, but it's
I
like
think I'm.
the Hard
I think
Rock
I'm at
Casino.
the stadium. It's in. I'm going to be there in October. So we gotta tune into. You got to tune in. Would you remind me to get?
Oh, and I think we lost Kevin's connection. So 1 second, guys. Let's see if we can get him to hop on real
Yeah.
quick. Oh,
So
here we
my phone. Every time my phone rings,
go.
I get bumped. So
It's
um,
okay.
yeah,
There we
no
go. You're back.
problem. So bottom line is, I'm the kind of guy. I roll my sleeves up. I invest in early company startups. I network. I market. I advise. I consult. I mentor. I join the boards, and that's just me. There's going to be a dozen more of me at type of people like you mentioned, Reese Jones. I mean, this is a guy that's been doing big deals. He's had a lot of exits. And this is the key thing. I can talk about exits I've had. I've had exits that have made me tens of millions. I've had exits that have made hundreds of millions. And so that's the key, is taking chips off the table. You can build a business, be successful, but how do you ultimately put money in your pocket so someday you retire and not have to worry about anybody, right? It become independently wealthy. So guys like Grant Cardone, they're going to show you how to do that, because he's got a whole real estate empire, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm so excited about what's coming up. I can't wait to hang with some of the other folks that were going to be there. But just real fast, talking about my mentors. My father was a mentor. Zig Ziglar was a mentor. Richard Branson was a mentor to me. Mark Burnett was a mentor to me. Anybody that I mentor is getting the experience of all my mentors also. So I can share what Mark Burnett taught me, what Richard Branson taught me, what Zig Ziglar taught me. He taught me how to sell, how to close. So we're going to be doing a lot of that too. So
Yeah.
all I can say is if you're ready to rock and roll and you're ready to learn more than you've ever learned in a couple of days, people have got to be getting down to our mastermind for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, one of the things too that I was like, when I came in contact and I started having more conversations with you, Kevin, one of the things for me that is huge and it's a huge component to success is mindset, right? So the mindset. So you are so go and your schedule's so packed and you do so much. When we first basically came together, I was like, man, how is Kevin going to have enough time to even deal with us or to give us advice and everything like that? And you're still able to do that. So to me, I was so pleasantly surprised to see and how good you basically get on time to meetings. You're really scheduled perfectly while you're flying to Brazil, Hong Kong, Singapore. Every time I hear, I have to tell you like where you at in the world right now. So, it surprises me. So like one of the questions that I would love to ask, and I know this is for both investors, entrepreneurs, startups, go-getters, like how do you actually do this? Like how are you so go? You know what I mean? And you have literally more energy than 20-year-olds that are doing marathons and such. So like how do you do it? Like what's one of the key components, or share a couple nuggets with us, Kev, on how you're actually able to pull all this off?
So and that's a great question. First of all, when I commit to a venture and I commit to advising, I'm the most important thing is agreeing upon the deliverables. What it is, am I doing a monthly call, a quarterly call, a weekly call? Am I doing a quarterly meeting? And now I have the ability because I have a great team. I surround myself. I've got two full-time lawyers. I've got two sons that work in the business. One's 31, one's 21. I've got a team of people. I've got dozens of key people, some of which have been with me for up to 20 years. And so I know how to delegate and I know how to do the things that I need to do, because if I am going to join the board of a new company, I may only be committing to quarterly board meetings. Okay. Now, that a quarterly board meeting is 1 day a quarter. So, hey, do I have 4 days of my life that I can contribute? And then obviously some phone calls and things like that. But and then this is one of the tricks, Jonathan, and I'm going to share it with you. Okay. And so we're in September right now. My son and I, as we get closer to the end of the year, we're going to go through our portfolio of equities and companies that we have equity in, and we're going to give back equity to probably 4 or 5 companies before the end of the year and just say, hey, look, sorry, we just don't want the equity. Okay. Like, wait a minute. What do you mean you don't want the equity? Sorry, there's not enough upside for our time. And we do it in a very nice way. We don't belittle the folks, but I mean, there's some people that require more time than I can give, and there's not enough upside for the time that they require. And so I just have to basically go back and say, look, I'm sorry, but I own equity. I've given you money. I've invested in your company, but I don't want it anymore. Take it back. Okay. Okay. I mean, literally, and it's a bewildering conversation sometimes when people are like, but wait, I don't understand. Okay. You've invested in my company. You own equity in my company, but you don't want it? No, I don't, because you're not growing. You flatline. You got a company that's gone nowhere in 2 years, but every week you still want me. Okay. So I don't have time to put into things that don't have major upside. And you know what I'm talking about, because we see upside deals all day long. So I want to be able to get rid of the deals that I shouldn't be focused on and focus on the ones that are going to be coming up here. And that's why come October, I'm counting on getting involved with a couple of deals on our mastermind. And it's sort of like you ever go to a hot nightclub where they got a line at the door and they're going to let 2 people in when 2 people come out, right?
Yes.
I'm going to take on 2 more deals because I know I got 2 that I got to let loose, and because there is only so much time in the day. I focus on the winners and I focus on the ones with the big upside.
Yeah, so it's almost a little bit like Pareto's rule, like except that you know what is actually bringing in the money, you know what has the upside, and although you may have invested money, you may have invested a lot of time, you don't get stuck to stuff. You don't get stuck on the idea of like, oh, hey, I committed money to this and I'm not going to go. So you can have new opportunities come on board and you're only limited so much time. So you do it, you know?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
So let's talk about the investment space. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, so one of the reasons we're also having this event is that we want basically to gather basically 20 to 30 elite, okay, businessmen, entrepreneurs, startups, or investors, because the people that are going to be here actually at this event are going to be ready to possibly invest, teach about investment, how to get acquired, how to exponentially grow your business, how to 10x your business. Obviously, I'm guessing that's what Grant's going to be talking about here, how to actually, the juices and the secrets to how to 10x your business. So within your realm and everything like that, for like entrepreneurs looking to take things to the next level, what are two components that you would tell us about that help an entrepreneur that, let's say that they're in the 5, 6, 7-figure range? How do they take stuff to an 8-figure, 9-figure, or even 10-figure range that you've dealt on boards and you've been part of businesses and such? Like, what are two key components that potentially, at least give us a little bit of the juice?
Yeah.
What are those two components that they basically need that you think that a lot of entrepreneurs, startups, or potentially even investors are missing out there?
Okay. So number one, that this was I had an argument with Kevin O'Leary on Shark Tank once, and O'Leary said, hey, I'm going to bet on you. You're the jockey. I bet on jockeys, and it's funny because I have a horse racing investment, and my partner in that venture is a trainer. And the first thing he said to me, he said, "Have you ever heard that term? I bet on the jockey." And I said, "Yeah, I've heard that quite a bit. In fact, I'm really not a huge believer in that." He's like, "Good." He said, "Because I can put any jockey on my horse and they're going to win the race. It's the medical, it's the training, it's the, I mean, these horses have unbelievable care and whatever. But what it is they have a dream team of experts that surround that horse. The jockey is one component. You need a trainer, you need a doctor, you need meds, you need this. It's just like a business owner. I don't necessarily bet on the jockey. I want to know that you said, what are two tips? I want to know he's surrounded himself with a good dream team. If he doesn't have digital marketing people, if he doesn't have an operations person, he might be a great marketing guy. But guess what? Marketing guys can sell people on a lot of things, go through all the money, and then it's gone and there's nothing left. So I want to know that jockey, he may be the marketing guy, but does he have operations? Does he have tech? Does he have digital? Does he have the dream team of people to surround himself with? That's number one. Number two that I look for, I mean, you mentioned you're doing $1 million or 2 million or 5 million. How do you go to 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, 100 million?
Yeah.
In my world, we focus on customer acquisition cost. That is one of the most important. Just customer acquisition. There's some companies that can have as many as 5, 6, maybe a dozen ways to get new customers, and each one of them might have a cost associated with it. But there's a cost to get customers using TV. There's a cost using radio. There's a cost using digital, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Right? Some people, I mean, even, hey, sometimes people are still doing direct mail. It still works for some industries, right? So the bottom line is I want to know if somebody is sitting on a $5 million business and they want to go to 10 or 20, I want to know, are you dialed in on your customer acquisition costs and all of that? Because if you are, now let me go tweak that, play with it, and I can show you how, if you said, I know my customer acquisition cost is $20 per customer, I can show you how to go get $20 million, which is enough to go get 1 million customers at $20 a customer. You need $20 million. I'll show you how to go get that 20 million and go build the company to 100 million if you've got the numbers that make sense. So these are, at the end of the day, Jonathan, you know it as well as I do. It building a business takes being able to understand the numbers, the finances, and getting customers, lifetime value of those customers, and long-term proof of concept. It's a couple key things there that we got to have.
Amazing tips, amazing tips. No, I
Thank
love
you.
those too, and I think those are incredibly important to basically scale a business and everything like that.
Thank you.
So, one of the things too that we're going to be doing at this mastermind and everything like that, for all the people that are listening, potentials and stuff like that. If you haven't attended masterminds, oh my God, it's so important. But one of the things that we are going to be basically concentrating on is how to build the teams. You know, you were just talking about who are they surrounded by, right? Are they surrounded by the right people? Okay,
Yeah.
team one of them. Having the mindset, you know, how Kevin is talking about this. And one of the biggest things too that I see, and this has been very beneficial to myself, and it's been amazing meeting you, Kevin, and being able to also tap into your network, because there's one thing I remember that you told me that was so important, and this is literally the reason that before I even met you and got great advice from you, one of the reasons that I used to attend masterminds was because of the network. I feel like every single big mastermind I've ever been to, I either have a long life friend that comes out of it, or someone I stay in contact with, or I go into business with someone, right? So can you
Yeah.
talk about the Rolodex? How important is your role? Because you have a ridiculous Rolodex. Like all the people you know to me is like absolutely insane. I mean, I think one of the reasons that Grant came on board basically with us, one of the big
Yeah.
proponents obviously was you. Okay, so you're able to help us get Grant to basically come here. So you obviously are tapping into some crazy networks. So talk to us about the Rolodex and everyone that wants to hear about this and how important your network and Rolodex is and what it's done for your life.
All right. So a guy brought me a product. He was making this product. I won't talk about what the product is because it's a numbers thing. But he had a cost of goods was $120 per piece. He was selling it for $300, and so he had a very tight margin. I didn't like those numbers, and there was a rechargeable battery as part of this product. Okay. And so a buddy of mine owns Ryobi Tools, Hoover, a vacuum cleaner, Dirt Devil. He is the largest manufacturer of products that require rechargeable batteries. Think about it, vacuum cleaners, tools, Ryobi, etc. So I called him up and I said, hey, I got a product I'm launching with a rechargeable battery. Boom, 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 boom. And he's like, oh, okay, send me the details. We'll give you a quote on it. We're now down at around $66 cost of goods. Okay. And so now they were having a hard time at $300 on the product sales side. Now we're looking at maybe even as low as we're $199 all over. Our sales have doubled because we lowered the price, and we're thinking we can maybe bring it down even to $149. So the bottom line is this: this is a group that came to me. They wanted to market their product. They were out of business based on a $120 cost and a high price of $300. Now, they're in business with a $60 some dollar cost and a chance to make it work. So all of this is because of my Rolodex. I've got a Rolodex from every kind of manufacturer. I don't care if it's rechargeable batteries, if it's fitness, if it's hardware, if it's golf products, fishing products, toy products, you name it, beauty. Just this morning, I got a phone call from somebody in Hollywood. I won't say which one, but one of the Hiltons. Okay. And I launched Kathy Hilton's products in 2002. We had amazing success with them. We also got involved with Paris Hilton at the time. And so one of the Hiltons is coming back with something. And so we need to go get a manufacturer. And we've now found one, and they have some amazing products. So the bottom line is business in general, whether it's raising capital, getting the right kind of digital people, getting the right advisors, the right mentors. But also, if you've got a product, you need manufacturing, you need fulfillment, you need customer service, and all the things that we've been doing for 35 years. So we certainly have the Rolodex, and I'm just one of dozens of people that are going to be part of this mastermind. The Rolodexes that let's talk about Grant Cardone and Reese Jones and some of these other folks that are going to be part of our event. We start opening these Rolodexes, it's going to be very powerful.
Oh yeah, yeah. Rolodex has been one of the most incredible things, in the last year and a half, like what we've been able to bring on board, connect with, and everything like that. Huge hedge funds, huge VCs, just businessmen that can take things to a whole nother level. I was actually introduced to one of your buddies, Jeffrey Hazlett, right? So Jeffrey Hazlett, by the way, loves what we're doing. He's potentially, I can't say that he's coming. He potentially wants to try to come to the event. So if you guys don't know who he was, and this was done actually through Kevin, the introduction, and now, I've had several conversations with him. He is the ex-CMO of Kodak, and he was actually managing $17 billion. Okay, 17 with a B, $17 billion. And he literally is trying to fly in to see if he can actually come because he has so much going on. But the Rolodex is one of the most important and vital components of being able to expand your business in an exponential manner. And I have a feeling that's why you're able to do so much so quickly because of, having the right people around yourself, obviously the proper mindset, and having a Rolodex where you can just make a phone call and something is done.
You got it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. All right, so Kev, tell us a little bit about a little bit of your travels and how you're able to do all the things that it is. And, for some of these places that you've gone to, so you've actually attended like events that are very far, and sometimes it's very rigorous to get there, whether it's you attending events inside of Singapore or something. What is the advantage of actually traveling? So let's say someone wanted to come to this mastermind and such like that, and all these different events that are around the world. Like, is it worth it? Doing all these travels, like, why do you travel so much to sometimes just one event? Like,
look, so I was traveling to Singapore and then had another event in Hong Kong. And then I got a phone call from one of my partners that said, hey, can you by any chance be in India anytime in the next 60 days? And I'm like, well, what's going on? Oh, an amazing opportunity, a new launch, bop, bop, bop. And so I checked into the deal. It looked huge. It looked like a great opportunity. I got on the phone with the people. And by the way, I'm going to be in Singapore. It's a 4-hour flight from Singapore to India. Okay. So I shot on down to India like, hey, it's just on the way home. Okay. So think about that. But I mean, listen, I got there. We did the deal. I invested money in this deal. We did a press release. We've now been written up in every newspaper, magazine, TV station in India as the next big thing to come. And it's huge. And so now, because I was in Singapore, I had a chance to shoot over to India. And by the way, India to Dubai is only about 8 hours. So I do, when I went to Dubai, I then had to hang out, went to Dubai, and then I went up to Abu Dhabi and hung with the sheikh that runs Abu Dhabi. So it's when I go places, I'm meeting with serious people. I mean, I've been invited to speak and actually in India with the Prime Minister. He's all about entrepreneurship. So we will be pulling that together. He's talking about an event in India with 40,000 people. So we've got India, we got Singapore, we got Hong Kong, Japan, China, etc. We're very connected in all of Asia. We've been doing business in Asia for 35 years, and certainly Latin America also. I was just down in Brazil, Sao Paulo. Shark Tank is in Mexico. Shark Tank is in Brazil. By the way, they have Brazilian sharks. They have sharks from Mexico also. So they're local sharks, right? So I'm now doing business with sharks all around the world because Shark Tank, it's in Australia, it's in India, and it's in Mexico and Latin America, Brazil, it's in South Africa, Israel. There's Israeli sharks. I mean, it's amazing. So bottom line is this: I've got really good connections. When I travel, if I got a 15-hour flight, what am I doing during the 15 hours? I'm reading the contracts and the books and the proposals and the business plans and things. I get on a plane with a stack like this because I print a lot of stuff and I'm reading on my computer also. But the bottom line is I use my travel to catch up. Then when I land, I'm off to the races, cutting deals, making headway. And I'm in a global connection situation here right now. And anybody that comes to our event, I'm going to open up the Rolodex in any capacity that I can to take them to the next level.
Oh, that's what I love. That's what I love. So like one of the things that we're definitely going to be doing at this mastermind, guys, is basically opening up basically the tools and basically everything that is needed to take things to another level. So one of the things that I just heard right now that What we're doing actually at Pitch right now is we're expanding into emerging markets, right? So that's one of our next phase that we go into. And Kevin basically was able to hook us up with some people that basically can help us expand our efforts outside of it. So one of the things that I would have to say is like a lot of people that want to take their business to the next level, and let's say they're doing most of the business in the United States, whether it's the UK or something like that, and opening up globally, you need to have partners. Okay, so let's talk about that really quickly. Like you have to have connections because it is not the same whatsoever. So for you, Kevin, because you actually deal with stuff that maybe starts as a hybrid idea, you take it and you're able to expand it, so like, what does it kind of take a little bit like, and do you really need to have, let's say business partners or advisors or something like that, or people in your Rolodex that know how to do these things? Or how hard is it taking something international if you don't have these proper connections and such?
Well, look, if you don't have the connections, it's pretty hard. I mean, you need to get the connections. I started 1990. I went to the Cannes Film Festival, where all the TV networks and movie theaters are out buying programming for their TV stations and their movie theaters, and that's how I connected and partnering with over 100 countries worth of distribution for my infomercials, because I had infomercials in the U.S. I went to the international TV show and made partnerships with Rupert Murdoch for the UK, Sky Channel, with the Marcucci family in Italy and the Kinnevik family in Sweden. This is going back, by the way, 1990, 91, 92, 93, 95, TV Tokyo in Japan. I can name every single country. Canal Plus in France. You name the country, I'll give you the partnership. Telefonica in Mexico. So we went around the world forming partnerships, and this was 30 some years ago almost, by the time, some of it in the late 80s, early 90s, and 25 to 30 years ago up to today. In fact, when I went to launch a mobile app, I had a connection to the CEO of Sprint. Didn't know him, had never met him, Marcelo Clar. I got in, met with him, pitched him, gave him an unbelievable pitch. He said yes. He put my mobile app on 6 million Sprint phones. Okay. And now Marcelo has sold Sprint to T-Mobile, and he is number 2 at SoftBank, number 2 to Mahushi-san. So he is COO of SoftBank, and you talk about a connection. We went we can get right to the top of SoftBank, by the way. So, the bottom line is we're all about partnerships. We're all about connections. We're all about Rolodex. And I'm not afraid to use other people's Rolodex too, Jonathan. Look, if Grant's going to open up his Rolodex, I'm going to look for some ideas and some connections down there when we all get together, So, because I don't have every single connection in the world, but I got a bunch. But collectively, we're going to be able to help anybody that's coming to this event for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Open up that Rolodex and being able to do amazing things, right?
Yeah.
So some of the main agenda items, right? So I wanted to talk actually about the mastermind itself and some of the things that are happening. And it's actually, from what we originally intended, Kevin, this thing has become a behemoth. Right, it just has exploded into something, guys. We were supposed to do this in July, and because of a few things that happened, it got pushed back. But it has now turned into a behemoth. So we have actually a house that we are going to be renting that is amazing. Like I'm talking about this house. It's basically a huge mansion. It's gonna be super amazing. It was a perfect spot, waterfront for us to have, and very intimate, guys. That's the big thing about this is that it's not like a conference, right? So when you go to conferences and everything like that, there's so many people everywhere, and it's hard to get to the juice unless you're a speaker. This is probably easier for you, Kevin. You're a speaker, you get invited to these private dinners that are usually pretty elite and everything like that. But when you come to these masterminds, not only are you going to be with elite entrepreneurs, investors, go-getters, and these mentors, but you're putting yourself in that mastermind of what Napoleon calls it. So what was that quote that Napoleon Hill says? Where it's like, when you put 2 or more people together in harmony for a common goal, your outcome is usually, paraphrased, is usually much substantially bigger. And that's where basically Napoleon Hill passed that. So when
Yes.
these collaborations happen, like what kind of magic do you see happen when you actually attend, very close and intimate masterminds or stuff like that? Like what kind of magic do you see happen at these type of events?
I mean, I've seen sparks fly literally. I mean, it's when people when you get a really cool group of people together that have common goals. It's I mean it's just the wheels start turning. My instant reaction when I meet an entrepreneur is who do I know that can help this person, right? That's how my mind works. And so right away, as somebody's telling me their business, oh, I've got this idea or this product, and then I'm thinking, okay, well, let's see. I've got retail distribution. We can take it to Walmart. We got CVS. We got Walgreens. We got international distributors. We've got this. We've got packaging experts. So my mind starts working immediately. That's, you'll start seeing that. But then when then you got somebody around the corner that's sitting at this room. They've got this connection and this connection and that, and this is when 1 + 1 + 1 equals 17. It's the concept of a mastermind is that the power of joining forces is way beyond the individual parts of the people attending. So if it's you and me and one other, we can create a power of 17 of us. Maybe it'll start at 7. Maybe then it goes to 10, then to 17 eventually in terms of the power of that relationship. But it is so exciting to see all this work. And that, we are experts at putting on these kinds of masterminds because, Jonathan, this is what it's all about is when you said to me, how can we actually, after 18 months of working together with some really powerful people, what do you think about bringing everybody together? And I said, Jonathan, that's a brilliant idea because now this is where you can see these things happening right in front of your eyes where they start exploding in connections, in growth, in opportunities, and Rolodex across the board. It's going to be really powerful.
Oh, it's super powerful, super powerful. That's one of the things. So we had actually a mastermind that we created about 2.5 years ago, and it was called the Marketers Mansion Mastermind, right? So
Yeah.
we literally at this event, Kev, we did it together with my buddy Damian Coughlin, Lauren Saponte, which, by the way, guys, are also part of the Pitch group and everything like that. We've expanded into other areas. And we were kind of disappointed when we weren't able to take this globally, right? We were so disappointed because we had such tremendous results. There was literally a guy, his name was Norman. I think it's Norman Chu. He literally was doing about $200-300 a day on Shopify. That was one of the things that his intention was to make more revenue. And within 1 month's time, I think Norman made $120,000 to $150,000. Okay,
Wow.
literally. We have a testimonial of it too, if anyone ever wants to see it. His stats went like this, starting inside the mastermind. That's how fast that things like this can happen, and one idea can spark something that completely revolutionizes someone's basically business and stuff like that. So would you say that like you've been involved in stuff that were complete turning points, like being around the right people at the right time at one of these close-knit events? Has that like ever happened? Like what's something that has happened literally where one turning point, you meet one person and it kind of almost changes the trajectory of what you're doing or one of the biggest projects that you're in? Has it ever happened?
I mean, I was sitting at a mastermind, guy sat right to the left of me, pulled out a product, put it down and said, what do you think of this? This is my item. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm doing about $1 million in sales and have kind of reached a wall. We've been to QVC. They don't want it. Boom, 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 boom. Make a long story short, this product did $27 million fourth quarter of 2018. Okay. And now this year it's $100 million product. We didn't, we knocked down the walls that they were hitting. We took it up to QVC. We got it on the air. It's now sold 600,000 pieces on QVC. Okay. So, but it's in Walmart. It's in Target. It's in optical store. This product is a huge hit. And so this is how it works is that people that hit a wall, that's why they come to a mastermind, so they can jump over that wall, they can go through that wall, they can bust it down. We're ready to rumble, man. And I hate to say, but I'm out on the outside here today, but if we want to wrap it up and give
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
the
yeah. Let's
last
go.
minutes here, I'm
Yeah, yeah.
excited. I can't wait till we all get together. It's going to be an amazing event, I know. And the fact that we got some of the top names in the world coming to this event that is a coup that you pulled off, Jonathan. I'm going to give you the credit for that. Amazing job. Good
A lot
job.
of credit goes to your side, Kevin, and everything like that. So we appreciate your time, everything that you're doing. Literally, I can see what I love about this. I can see your excitement, like being here at this event and what we've
Yeah.
been able to pull off. So, like, thanks for everything that you've done. And any last word or sentence or whatever it is, basically to everyone, because this
Yep.
yesterday was the official launch. Yesterday was the official launch of us actually doing this. And anyone that potentially was thinking about going,
Yes.
masterminds in general, what's the last thought that you would give someone that is thinking
Yes.
about something like
All
that?
right. So if you're watching this right now, someone told you to watch this, or you figured it out on your own, but you're watching it for a reason. The reason is that you need to be with us. And I'm just going to say this: whatever it takes for you, the person sitting there watching right this second, to get to our event, this is your last chance to take your idea, your business, your opportunity, and crush it. Just break down any walls that have existed. We're going to jump over them. We're going to run through them. We're going to take your business, your idea to the next level and give it an amazing new twist and turn and access to capital. And this is the time that you must act now. And that was the name of my book, Act Now. How to Turn Ideas into $1 million products, because people kept saying, maybe I'll do it next time. No, there is no next time. It's now. Those that are listening, you're here for a reason. You're here because we're going to explode your business for you, with you, as part of your team. I'll join your dream team. You're going to be amazed at what you find at this event. Let's just get them there, Jonathan. That's my closing word. Act now. To anyone out there, get to our event. I want to meet you. We're going to do it.
All right. So thank you, Kevin. Guys, the original shark from Shark Tank, amazing mega investor, has given you guys his take and shared a wealth of knowledge. So Kevin, thank you for your time. You have a wonderful time, and then we'll see you soon.
Hey, I'm ready, guys. Take care, buddy.
Let's do it.
Thanks.